tripping me, Sven.
You're guilt tripping me right the fuck now.
I just can't with you, Adriel. I mean, every time I try to go to bed and I scroll on, I see this. Number one, great parent right there, you are. Allowing your son to drop the F-bomb not once, but several times with no reaction from you. None whatsoever. Wow. A+ for you. Second of all, you're upset because your son does not want to eat vegan food. He has made that more than clear. And then you say, how am I guilt tripping you? Here's a lesson in guilt tripping, okay? Because you did it like several times in this video. But when you said, have you ever driven 4 hours in a car and had with 3 kids and Instacarted all the food to the house and blah, blah, blah? That's guilt tripping. Clearly you don't know what it is. You're accusing him of guilt tripping you because he's upset because he doesn't want to eat vegan food. And you are the one that is trying to guilt trip him into feeling bad. But you want to play the victim because you're always the victim. You see, in my house, and I'm not saying it's the way it should be in anyone's house, but in my house, because I have a child that is on the spectrum, I have to make sometimes separate food for him because he doesn't eat certain foods. It's a texture thing, sensory, whatever. So I have to make separate food for him. And I can't obviously allow him to eat separately something that he doesn't like. So I have to also allow my other child to not eat something that he doesn't like. He doesn't like tacos. So we make his tacos differently. Okay? I don't sit there and belittle them and badger them to death. And I don't do it on a live either, like you're doing. Once again, another prime example of how you stream every flippin' ounce of your life for the world to see. And you wonder why your son, clearly at 14, has rage issues. My 25-year-old never spoke to me like that, especially at 14. Ever. Did he get upset with me? Absolutely. Did he ever swear and cuss at me like that? No. One, because he knew he wasn't allowed to, but also because he had respect for me. Something you have not earned with any of your children, because you like to broadcast every flippin' thing about your life with your children. You're just not getting it, and frankly, you're not going to. But thankfully, so many big creators are on here. By the way, how's the GoFundMe going? Heard it got taken down. Oops. I didn't get it taken down, but somebody else did. Looks like that downfall went from here, and now you're right about here, and sooner than later, you're gonna be the bottom pit where you belong, because that's what you are. Pit. Bottomless pit. You see, being vegan is a choice. It's not a must. It is a choice. And you have every right whatsoever to be vegan. But you are pushing that onto your child. It's kind of like religion. You know, I grew up Baptist, my husband grew up Catholic, okay? I didn't force Baptist on my children, and my husband didn't force Catholic on our children. We allow them to choose what they want. As long as it's something that's not going to physically hurt them, they need to be allowed to make decisions. What are you going to do when your children are grown up and off into the world? They're not going to know how to fend for themselves. You act more like their sister than their mother. Give me your phone. Give me your phone. No. F you, Mom. I don't know what to do with this kid. I can't take it anymore. I can't stand him. Do you know what those words do to your child? Trust me, I'm not going to get into it on here. But I'm going to admit something. I said something to my son the other day on Facebook about the election. And I said I was disappointed in him. And when I tell you, I have never been more ashamed of myself than I was after he told me how hurt he was. Because I've never told him I was disappointed in him. And you know what? After my temper settled down and whatnot, I realized that was an awful frickin' thing to say to him. Awful. And I did it publicly. I am ashamed of myself. So I went on and made a public apology to him. And I told him I wasn't disappointed. In fact, I was proud of him. I was upset at the time, and I used words that I didn't mean, and I was sorry for that. But I was proud of him because I have always raised my children to be free thinkers and have an open mind and have their own mind, their own decisions. So I'm goddamn proud of my son that he went against what I believe and voted the way he wanted to. That's what you should be doing for your children. Allow them to make their own conscious decisions for themselves. If it's not going to hurt them, let them choose their way, especially at 14. I'd say you should be ashamed of yourself, but you're not, and you never will be. That's how I know I'm a much better parent than you are. Do I make mistakes? Absolutely. Made a big one the other day. And I have to live with that. Even though I apologized to him and he said he forgives me, I have to live with that. Because I obviously, definitely didn't mean it. I was just upset and caught in my emotions. But it's something I can't take back. I can apologize for, but I can't take it back. And you do this continuously, over and over and over to your kids. And you don't ever apologize. You don't ever take accountability. You just continue to be the shitty-ass person that you are. So I am so thankful that huge creators are on here and they're coming after you. And you are going down.